Wagwan people? Welcome back to the channel. A lot of times, women would say that men are afraid to commit, but the truth is, men are not afraid to commit, but rather, men are afraid to find out that their wife is in bed with another man, especially when he has dedicated himself to her. However, today, cheating is almost as guaranteed as death. And in today's story titled, "Want to Divorce My Wife," a man got a shocking revelation that had him in denial at first until he saw the proof. So, without further ado, the letter to the pastor reads.
Dear Pastor, I am a 29-year-old Jamaican, but I am living in the US. I left Jamaica when I was 10. I went to high school in America. My parents love this place. Well, I should say that my mother loves America. My father does not love it as much as my mother. From the time I was a child, my father was saying that he hoped that the day would come when he would return to Jamaica, which he called his homeland. As a family, we have done well. I have 2 sisters. They have good education and good husbands. I got married 5 years ago, but my wife is not a good woman. It didn't take me long to discover that all she wanted from me was money. We have 1 child together, and she is insisting that I give her more for the child. I try my best to be home soon after work so that I can help my son. My wife was always going out, and her best friend told me that my wife was involved with another man. I reminded her that my wife was a Christian, and she said what she was telling me, Christianity had nothing to do with it. She sent me pictures of my wife and the man kissing at a party. I showed it to my wife and she could not deny that it was her. She said it was a New Year's Eve party, and at midnight, everybody on the dance floor had to kiss the person they were dancing with, and that was what happened there. While she was out, I was home with my son. She never returned home until daybreak. How can I trust this woman? I have tried to save, but my wife didn't believe in saving. She spends a lot. We used to live in a condo, now we are in a 4-bedroom house and the mortgage is very heavy. I would like to have another child, but my wife is not interested in getting pregnant again. I don't know whether you believe in divorce, but I have been thinking about divorcing this woman because I have lost trust in her. I have met a young woman from Puerto Rico and I really love her. My father is encouraging me to divorce my wife and to marry this young woman. She takes time to help me to learn Spanish. I am struggling with it, but I find myself spending more and more time with her. I went to see a counselor and I told him that I suspected that my wife was cheating. He is a Christian and he told me that I did not have enough proof, so he could not give me his blessings. I asked him if that meant I would have to see a man on top of my wife before I divorce her. He said he did not say that, but I should try and make up with her. How do you make up with a wife after seeing her French kissing another man? KG.
Dear KG, I regret hearing that you and your wife are not having a good relationship, and that you believe that she is cheating on you. I believe that you are an intelligent man and you will not accuse your wife of cheating if you had seen a man kissing her on her cheek. A kiss on the cheek is far different from a French kiss. That is very intimate and carries a different meaning. No one can engage in a French kiss causally, and I think that is what is bothering you. You spoke to the family counselor, and he suggested that you try to make things right with your wife because he did not believe that you had enough grounds to divorce her. Nowadays, one does not even have to give reasons for filing for divorce, except on the grounds that the marriage has irrevocably broken down. I do not wish to tell you what to do. You do not believe that this woman loves you anymore. As I see it, you don't love her anymore, either. You have already established a new relationship with a girl from Puerto Rico. I think you are moving too fast. Perhaps you should ask your wife to join you in another counseling session before you see a lawyer and file for divorce. Pastor.
Well guys, Pastor said what he said. But before I continue, if you like the video so far, please subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like this one. So, to me, it seems Pastor is afraid to tell this man directly to divorce his wife due to a lack of evidence. However, the hard truth is, women are emotionally driven, So for a woman to have a man but open herself up to another man, it is either she have lost respect for her man, she is emotionally attached to the other guy, which leads to sexual attraction and involvement. Perhaps she is bored and missing some excitement in her relationship, or a combination of different reasons. Whichever reason it is, once your woman loses respect for you, the relationship almost always dies shortly after, because with the loss of respect comes disrespect. And no man can have peace while being disrespected by his own woman. But maybe I am talking nonsense, so let's hear what others think about this situation. First comment comes from Sheldon John, which says once your wife has enough feelings to allow another man to French kiss her, then your marriage will only deteriorate from there unless both of you are willing to fight together hand in hand to try and save the marriage. Change is added, crazy business this. Man a French kiss my wife and me wondering what to do? Lol. What's also interesting is how come his wife went out on New Year's Eve and he was at home? Strange story. Vernal also added, I went to see a counselor and I told him that I suspected that my wife was cheating. But you are cheating also, sir. To the point that you are even considering divorcing your wife to marry the new flame. Man, you are confused. Your wife is cheating, yet you want another child. She appears to be a gold digger, your mortgage is high, ah boy. Sean Shields replied to Vernal, this man is a madman. Gunnar 4 Life 7 also replied to Vernal, they have one child yet move into a 4-bedroom house, tells me all I need to know about the wife when he said she likes to spend and go partying. This man is in big trouble. He needs to divorce her. Yes, she will get the house, but that might be a blessing for him. Pay her child support and move on. As for the Latina girl, he should not be quick to marry so fast. Might be added to the conversation with, sometimes further counseling is not the answer. There comes a time when a relationship runs its course and the best thing to do is to terminate it. You have presented information that suggests that you are both no longer in love with each other. Seeing her French kiss another man would absolutely be a deal breaker. You are seeing a new lady from Puerto Rico. Seems like you are both moving on, and so it is high time to just get a lawyer and file for divorce. The level-headed one said, Pastor says, I think you are moving too fast. Perhaps, you should ask your wife to join you in another counseling session before you see a lawyer and file for divorce. That may be so, Pastor, but from my perspective I think this one gone down the drain. The behavior of the wife, the French kissing and New Year's Eve partying without her husband, is a massive disrespect for the relationship. Can we talk too lamented, Pastor, had you not suggested it yourself, I too would have encouraged this man to have both himself and his wife attend family counseling. What is bothersome is why this young man and his wife did not go out together as a couple for New Year's and hired a babysitter or took their son to his parents' house if they agreed to watch him for the evening, if they didn't have their own plans. Why would a happily married couple choose to spend New Year's doing their own thing without their partner? In fact, what New Year's are we talking about, this one just gone? In fact, in reading this letter over multiple times, why would any husband or any wife still be hanging out as if they're still single? Yes, I get that each needs to have their alone and me time, but it is a recipe for disaster for either married gender to be hanging out as if they're still single and ready to mingle. I don't know, call me old-fashioned. As to the woman who showed the picture to him of his wife kissing another man, why hadn't this woman shown this very picture to his wife and asked her what in blazes is she doing, not that it's any of her business anyway? Wesbo, the poet chimed in with, thanks for a great response, Pastor. My question to KG is, why are you not going out with your wife sometimes, especially for special occasions such as a New Year's Eve party? You could get a babysitter to stay with your child so that you can go out with your wife sometimes. But, I am guessing that she may not want you to accompany her on her outings. I believe your wife sees you as a man who she can easily manipulate and rule. KG, I agree with you to start looking elsewhere. But before you stray too far, start talking to a divorce lawyer. Good luck! Sean Shields jokingly replied to Wesbo, the poet, he stayed with the baby and the Spanish teacher whom he French kissed at midnight. Bleach joined in with, you're home with your son while your wife is out with another man and you want to ask Pastor what to do? I never know, fool man still up and about. Make she move out, go live with a man. Lady D commented, careful of those women from PR. She knows you have a 4-bedroom home, so can you and her maintain that? Careful you do not find yourself out in the cold when she and her Spanish-speaking family build a case against you. Even though they are American citizens, many of them are not so progressive. Reader woman says, your marriage is dead. Listen to me carefully. Hire a private detective to track your wife's movements and document each and every stroke. Take it to the court and file for custody of the child. If you have the evidence, any judge will grant you custody. Then she will have to pay you child support. If she messes up, they will lock her up. Start building a file with a New Year's Eve kiss. And under American law you can sue the man too, her lover she was kissing on New Year's Eve, for destroying your marriage. You have the proof. Sorry to say your wife is a slutty shameless woman to leave her son and husband on New Year's Eve. Sean Shields replied to reader woman with, and what about his love for the Spanish teacher? Is that okay because he's a man? He's full of the same idiocy. I think 1 or 2 counseling sessions ought to work for them and have them understand the impact on the child who ought to be their priority, but clearly is not. And the last comment comes from Hopster Raspberry, which turned into a thread. You better be careful with these Spanish women from PR. They are part of US territory, but lots and lots of them do not progress. I am sure she knows you have a 4-bedroom house, so one day you might be out of your buttocks. When Jamaican men have been on the North Continent for a while, they think that these women with different texture hair are so awesome or beautiful, but they have nothing over us, my dears. I have seen how they look without makeup and wet hair. LOL. Reader woman replied to Hopster Raspberry with, LOL Hopster, that is a bad-minded thing to say. Do I hear a little jealousy there? These men see the Spanish girls in magazines and they want that tall hair and that chocha for dinner. The Spanish girls are very loving too with the black men. Lady D replied to reader woman with, tall hair? You mean long hair? Not the Spanish with black men, but white girls. I guess you do not know what is going on. Plus, I have always had a lot of hair. No one has anything over me. LOL. I should hope no one wants to marry me for just looks, but for something deeper. Well guys, that was what the people have to say, and I never touched on the wife's spending habits. It seems she was a party girl before she got married, and it seems after the marriage she went back to her default mode. That, coupled with her bad spending habits and her seemingly being inconsiderate of the expenses her husband has to deal with, so I can see why this man wants to divorce her. The kiss seems like the straw that broke the camel's back. However, I wish them all the best. People say, nothing good comes easy, and where there is a will, there is a way. I believe the marriage is likely to fall apart, but what do you think? Is the husband looking into the French kiss too much, or is he right to want to divorce his wife? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And please, for me, subscribe to the channel for more Reddit stories, Dear Pastor stories and cheating stories like this one. Matter of fact, click on one of the playlists on screen now for more. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one. Love.